If you were to ask me the one thing I get the most questions about in my retro gaming arsenal over here, the answer might surprise you. It's not the modded Sega Saturn, it's not the modded Dreamcast, it's not all the EverDrives I have or anything like that. It's the audio receiver. For some reason, there's still so many misconceptions and just wrong ideas of audio receivers, even today, and especially when looking back at old analog audio receivers, such as this old Pioneer that I have, that people just really don't understand them. And one thing I wanted to show is the one biggest thing that people don't understand is the latency or lag, or the lack of any of it. These are analog devices. All the operations that are being done on the video stream are analog. In other words, at the speed of light, meaning there is no lag or latency or anything. As you can see with me using a light gun on multiple displays, because that's another cool thing about 90s and early 2000s audio receivers is they have multiple outputs. So no, you don't have to use a distribution amplifier, those crappy Radio Shack things that are just absolutely terrible, that destroy the signal, make everything look terrible. These are high quality. These are really, really high quality. These were meant to be the centerpiece of your home theater system or of your whatever in the 90s and early 2000s and the 80s. These were expensive. These were thousands of dollars back then. Thankfully now you can find them for like $30, $20. I paid $20 for that at a Goodwill, Savers. It was nothing. And it has 3 outputs as well as like 10 inputs. I can run all of my consoles into it. I can run the Mister into it. And then I can output to my capture card as well as my TV, as well as another TV if I wanted to. And there's no latency, there's no video degradation, there's no distortion, there's no anything. And then there's the other key part that also audio receivers excel at, and that's the audio part. For some reason, I don't know why the retro gaming community is so stuck on using crappy TV speakers. The 70s, 80s, and 90s were like peak hi-fi. If you grew up in that era, you know what I'm talking about. People were buying speakers in parking lots.
Hey, you guys need some speakers?
No speakers?
Yeah, man. I got top quality shit, the works.
Sounds good.
Let's do it. Yeah, my van's right outside. Come on.
Audio was king during that era. That's why your PlayStation can play CDs. Like, that's why these CD-based consoles can play music, because they knew you would be hooking it up to some amazing speakers, because audio was everywhere. I mean, Yuzo Koshiro, when doing audio for the Sega Genesis, used Yamaha NS10s to master on. You can look up Yoko Shimomura doing soundtracks in the 90s, and she has like full-on studio like monitors that she's mixing and mastering everything on. Everything in the 90s and even the 80s was done with the intent that you would be listening to these things on nice speakers. I don't know why so many people in the retro gaming sphere are still so cautious when it comes to audio. Seriously, get some good speakers. I'm not saying you need to get towers like I have. I'm not saying you need to get subwoofers like I have or anything like that. Just a pair of like powered monitors or something. Or if you're gonna go with an audio receiver, just some small bookshelves, some like small Polk bookshelves would do wonders for your setup. And then, as the icing on the top as I lose my voice here, if you do have a Mister, most people say to use an external DAC with the Mister, because the one isn't really that good inside, right? Especially if you are listening to like FM music, like the Genesis and stuff, it distorts. So everyone says use an external DAC. The receiver is a DAC. The receiver takes optical in. 90s and 2000s receivers have optical in. And it's amazing. Your $15 DAC isn't going to be better than that. Your $100 DAC isn't going to be better than that. This Pioneer that I have is from like 2003, and I believe it was $1,500 in 2003. Nobody wants analog receivers anymore. Everyone wants HDMI. So you get these for dirt cheap. and they're extremely useful. If you're looking for something to take your retro setup to the next level, if you're looking to get some speakers, if you're looking to replace your shitty Radio Shack distribution amplifier, if you're looking to make your streams look a little bit better with higher quality when you're splitting the signal, $15 at a Goodwill, $20 at a yard sale. It's right there. Just do it. It's, as I showed you at the start, doesn't mess with the signal, doesn't add latency, doesn't add lag, doesn't do any of that, and it works beautifully. So there you go.